And it turned out beautiful. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to stay there? I like this kind of weather, but all the time. Now, I think it's just, you know, I the whole thing. You see, it's some stuff. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
You have a pen.
It's a bad feeling. Oh, yeah. But we don't, that's something you do. Yeah.
If public would want to speak, how would I go about doing that or requesting that?
You can,
I'm not speaking tonight, but just like in the future. Do I just put a meeting before the meeting starts, or do I have to
yeah,
contact
you
the
would
office?
just, you could do that too. You could just send me an email ahead of time.
Okay,
The topics would have to be what are on the agenda, related to the agenda.
okay.
So,
So any of these, if I had a question about something, I could answer to those. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
you're welcome.
About their days, like 3 days like this, not doing that for work. But it's, oh, I said 3. Oh. Hang on back there. Hey, here's what I want. Didn't you see my son, church? Oh, that's right, that's right. I said, I got.
When you see you.
And what name?
When you see you.
Wait, to see me there.
Yeah.
That's why I grew up there a long time ago.
That's how we work.
I thought she was gonna say, well, you keep working. I just wait for the file. So, yeah, I might go.
Hello, how are you all? This is the agenda right here.
Yes, 2 pages.
We would like to welcome all of you here tonight. We'll call the meeting to order. I'd ask if Sister Jessie Washington would give us the opening prayer.
Let us pray. O merciful and everlasting Father, we come before you again, Lord. Thanking you, Lord, for this beautiful day that you have bestowed upon us. Lord, we give you thanks for everything that you've given us. Lord, you've given us another chance at life. You've given us health and strength, food, shelter, clothing. Lord, you've given us friends and understanding. Lord, we ask you to continue to guide us and direct us and lead us in the path that we should go. Oh, Heavenly Father, come into the midst of this meeting this evening. And Lord, shower us with your blessings. Help us to be the people that you're calling us to be. One by one, all joining hand together so that we can make this town what it should be. Lord, we thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Few things on the agenda that we might need to look at really quickly. Nobody has called an executive session, so I move that we take off the executive session. Harvard Law Firm, he's already got a signed contract, personal matters. So I move that we take those 3 things off the agenda. Is there a second? What's that? Not approving it yet, just taking those things off so that we can approve it. Thank you.
He's amending the agenda. To exclude some people.
You said it's a contract for agreement for us.
Yes.
The motion is saying there are no other legal or contractual issues to be raised tonight. Go ahead, some, if you have some.
Oh, I think.
All in favor? Aye. So approval of agenda. I move that we approve the agenda.
I think.
All in favor? I take it. So have council had an opportunity to read through the minutes and also the financial reports?
I mean, I'm glad that it, but I didn't read through it.
Okay, so with the minutes,
Point of information,
say that again.
point of information, the minutes for March 1st. I'm sorry. Is it March 1st? Just give me a moment. I want to make sure I'm speaking correctly.
So I'll move just to the financial well,
No, this is regarding the agenda.
I just know, I get that. I'll just talk about the financials while you're looking at that. So financials, if council had an opportunity to look over that, It is just the expenditures that have taken place. It hasn't been balanced with the budget as we talked about last time. So I am okay with that right now. I still believe that we should have a financial that would reflect where we are currently with the budget also. Ms. Collins, did you find what you're looking for?
Yes, I did. The February 13th minutes are not complete. There's clarification that is needed. So they'll be ready for the next meeting.
So I move that we accept the minutes, except for February 13th. And also the financials with just the expenditures. So what it's showing on the financial is it's just showing what we spend. So what we don't see is we don't see it compared to the budget. So we're spending stuff, but we're not seeing where we are in relationship to the budget. So right now, we're spending over $1,300 over what we budgeted last year, just for an accounting software. So we're spending over our budget right now, but nobody knows that because they don't have, this is the expenditures and this is what we budgeted.
You mean the yearly budget?
The yearly budget. So we set a yearly budget and then every month we should be balancing that budget. But nobody sees that. All we're seeing is the expenditures.
Is that based on ordinances? What does the ordinance say?
What do you mean?
What do the ordinances say? The ordinances
We're
will,
going to live by a balanced budget.
I'm asking, what did the ordinance say about the
You
budget?
can look that up if you'd like
Okay.
and get back.
If you vote and it's against the ordinances, that'll be an issue.
There's no vote.
I'm just saying, when you take certain things like
Sure.
a budget and you alter them, certain things need to be altered according to ordinance.
Would we live by a balanced budget? In the town of Mayesville?
Would you live by it? Okay, I understand what you're saying. Of course, everybody should have a balanced budget. But if you create a budget and any changes that you make through your budget, you would have to do it through an ordinance,
Absolutely.
all right? So,
All I'm saying is that what we're showing on our financial reports is only expenditures. None of the council or the public gets to see what's been spent against the budget. We should have a budget here with expenditures, so we know where we are throughout the year.
okay, so you're not asking to change the budget,
No.
or are you asking to change the
No.
budget? So then the only thing you're doing is asking that there be an additional assignment of somebody showing what money's come in. what money's come out.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I mean, yes, you can do that as long as you're not up in the budget, but of course, you can always decrease it.
Haven't asked to up the budget or decrease
All right,
anything.
so if it doesn't go against any ordinance, then what you're saying would be correct, but the thing that falls down to now is you're asking for when you guys come to a meeting, you want to be able to show what was spent versus what's left in the account.
Exactly.
Okay, all right, so I guess you'd have to ask council to come into an agreement. You gotta have somebody who got a bookkeeping or a taxation background to kind of do that for you. I mean, I don't know the clerk's ability to do it.
She's a treasurer also.
But.
Correct, and it has been on the agenda several times and you have tabled it or removed it off of the agenda.
And the question is, are you asking about doing it through some software? But even if you do it through some software, of course, you gotta be trained on it. Would that be?
The town is equipped.
Oh,
It just needs the professional to do it.
and it's a time consuming.
Exactly.
Yes,
So,
you can do it, but you have to make sure that you're allotting the time to do it or the person to do it.
And the last meeting, when the financial reports were read. Council, I'm looking through the minutes again, but council agreed that you and I would work together on that.
Yeah.
The council didn't agree to that, but you.
It was
wanted to work.
voted on, it was voted on by all council.
So what I'm asking now is approval of the minutes and the financials.
Hello.
Okay, so
That's why I was mentioning about the minutes of February 13th, because that wasn't included in there before you voted.
okay, so we'll go again, make a motion to
Wait.
approve.
I'm sorry, you have to do that differently. You can't just make a motion on top of a motion.
So what would we need to do? All I'm doing is approving the agenda, the minutes and the financials with the things taken.
Well, if you have a motion on, I think you did have a motion on the floor. I guess we go back to that motion and either do away with it or vote on it or let it die. So why don't we do that? What was the motion?
The motion is to approve the agenda with the minutes from February 13 taken out because they are not complete right now. Taking out the executive, the Carter Law Firm, the personal matters out of the agenda. Is there a second?
Now, the personnel, I'm sorry.
If that was the motion, then of course you guys gotta resolve it, vote on it. And I believe you seconded now. Did I get that correct?
That's what I'm saying. I thought we was already moving on the agenda and approved the agenda, so I'm confused at what you're doing, because I thought we already approved the agenda. and voted on it.
Well, actually, that's what I was thinking too, that you guys approved the
Yeah.
agenda. And your next motion was to go to the finances, and you made a motion for the finances to reflect not only just the spending, but something else you wanted the financing to reflect what monies are there and then what the spending were. Is that right?
What it shows every month is just what we've spent.
Correct.
What I would like it to do is show the budget, what's spent, and the balance where we are, so everybody can see that we're on budget for the year.
All right, so you're not at that, and that brings us back, you're not asking to change the budget, you're asking for a different assignment or a different instrument to be brought to council on each meeting.
So he wants the two financial reports to be removed off of the agenda because it's not including the information that he is
Didn't say that at all.
stating.
Didn't say that at all. I said we could approve it as it is right now, a note that we could do better. And we could have the budget and the expenditures on there so we know exactly where we are throughout the year.
And next week,
That has nothing to do with the financial report, so.
You have two issues, Ms. Mayor.
Sure.
You have two issues on the agenda, financial report for January 24 and February 24.
Correct.
And I'm sorry.
February 13th. The minutes for February 13th is not completed.
Right, that's correct. I thought we had now moved on to the financial.
We are.
Okay. We approved the minutes for January, what was it, February 23rd, March 1st, and I think the treasurer indicated that February 13th was not ready. And so you approved the agenda for the minutes that were ready and not to deal with the February 13th because they were not ready.
Correct.
That
No,
wasn't,
no, that's not the case. That, okay,
Nah, all we did was, we approved the agenda except for the executive session, the Carter Law Firm, and the personal matters. That was the only thing that was taken off the
Okay.
agenda, and then we approved the agenda. So that's what I'm saying, what he's trying to do now is approve the agenda again.
Okay, if we're already approved, we're good.
Yeah, we already.
Okay, good. Let's move on. Fair Housing Resolution Proclamation, I don't know why we have a council vote on that. This is something that Santee Lynch will post over a period of time. You will all get information that will be posted here in a public situation so that you can get an idea of different housing situations that we can have here in Mayesville. It doesn't require a vote of council.
So
Point
we
of-
still all the minutes in the financial report, but you're down at the end of the list, but we haven't gone through none of the minutes, neither the financial.
What do you mean gone from? We're not gonna read that anymore.
But we approved the agenda, why, before we approve the agenda, if you don't want to take it all off, that's. But since it's on the agenda and we didn't approve to take it off the agenda, we have to go through it.
Explain. Maybe I'm not understanding. I'm making a mistake here.
Okay, when we made the motion to approve the agenda,
Correct.
the only thing that you asked to take off the agenda was the executive session,
Right.
the part of firm, the
Right.
personal matters.
Okay.
So we so move on that, they take that off the agenda, but then we went ahead and approved the agenda. We approved the agenda. Once we approve the agenda is already approved, so we have to go through the things that on the agenda. You skip everything on the agenda and just go down to the end.
We just approved the minutes. We approved all the financials.
We didn't even went through the minutes to approve them.
We're not going to read them anymore. That's why I asked, have you read them? That's why Ms. Collins has given them out so that we could read them. So
And see
we're not
that-
gonna read them in a city council meeting. We have an opportunity to read them beforehand. So we've already approved all of those.
No,
In the email threads, council has discussed procedures, and what we are discussing now is procedures. And this is something that council will get together and decide together how they want to conduct the meeting. Sometimes the minutes should be read due to some important information, and other times it's just a summary. And then maybe you guys will agree one day that maybe you don't want the clerk treasurer to read the minutes and the financial reports. But that's something that you guys decide as a team.
Well, at this point, I make a motion that we are not going to read the minutes nor the financials. They've already been sent out. They've been sent out to the public. Everybody has an opportunity to see them. Is there a second? So you two would like them all read? Yes.
Because I thought most of the minutes, we already got the minutes, the whole agenda has to be, that was on.
It doesn't have to be read. If you've approved it, we've already seen it. It does not have to be read in public. There's no use wasting people's time if they've already read it. So you've approved the minutes for the 9th. You've approved the minutes for the 8th. We have not approved the minutes for the February 13th because they're not finished. You've approved the special call meeting. The special call meeting on March and the financial reports are all approved.
That's not correct. The agenda topics have been
Ms.
approved.
Collins,
I'm trying to
it
help the
doesn't,
team.
I can look to somebody else to get help.
That's fine.
So you may be
I
quiet.
do
right
have the
now. Ms.
ability
Collins,
as a point of reference.
you are out of order.
I'm not out of
You
order.
are. So are we all right in not reading the minutes and the financials if everybody has had an opportunity to read those?
Okay, whatever your practice is, you have to change your practice. If I'm just now coming. I don't know how y'all handle meetings, minutes of the meetings in the past. Okay, if you read them in the past and that became your custom and practice, you all have a right to continue to do that, or you can change that. So what I would suggest you do is ask your council, so can everybody hear me? What I would suggest you do is ask your council if they want to do that, have a discussion on it, and then make a motion based on the discussion. Because if you say, I don't want to read it, and everybody's used to reading it, then they're gonna expect it to be read, as I understand it. I don't know, did y'all read the minutes in the past at a meeting?
Yeah.
If that's what you do, you gotta do it unless you change it. And so what you would have to do, Mr. Mayor, if you wanted to do that, is call for a discussion on it. We have the minutes in the past, we've done blah, blah, blah. I think that takes up too much time. Council, what is your position on discontinue reading the minutes? And then they'll vote yes or no, or however you want to go. If that makes it easier also for both you understanding and them understanding what you're asking them so that they can agree or disagree.
Very good. So do I just need to make a motion of that?
All right,
And
well,
discussion.
let's establish that the agenda has already been approved, correct?
Correct.
Y'all vote on that. So once the agenda is approved, then you go to the next item on your agenda, which is it's the issue of the minutes. The agenda has been approved. The minutes is not the agenda. The agenda is a separate thing that you guys have agreed on. Now you have on your agenda the issue of minutes and minutes being read. You can ask everybody, y'all got your minutes? Have you read them? Do you want to discuss them? Or you can ask, in the past, we've read the minutes out. I think it takes up a lot of time. I would like to have a discussion about discontinue reading the minutes, if that's what you all are going to do. You have the discussion and everybody say, yeah, I want it, y'all want it, or no, I don't care about it, then you call for a vote on it. As the chairman of the meeting, you call for a vote on it. So right now, the issue on the table is the minutes. Okay, do we want to read them? Ask for a discussion on it and then call for a vote.
So discussion on reading the minutes in a council meeting.
Right, ask anybody got any position on it? And they say yes or no, or say what they want, and then you call for a vote, you make your motion and then ask for a second, and then call for a vote, if you get a second.
So if the minutes have been sent out to us, we have a chance to read them. The public has a chance to read them. Do we need them to be read in this meeting? Is the discussion? What's that? But we should. You have a position there? Read it in front of everybody.
We have another councilman president.
We don't, so we can't.
Oh, she's on Zoom.
You want to ask him?
Cynthia, can you?
Cynthia, are you able to hear us? Can you talk?
Once you've asked
She's
everybody, do they have an opinion, then you ask them.
So, I make a motion that we do not read the minutes. If the public can see them, if they can see the financials, then there's no need to take time in this meeting to read those minutes aloud and waste the time of the public. Is there a second on that? So if there's not a quorum to vote.
Okay. All right, how many council members are present?
3.
Okay, so you do have a quorum, because you got 4 members of the
Five.
council. and
There's 5, 5 for council.
Five for council,
Correct.
and you have 3 present.
Correct.
Well, 4 present, actually.
No, she's the third. What?
But she's not.
Oh, God, see.
She makes.
Do you all have, council members attending by Zoom? Is that a yes or no?
One of them,
All right.
fine.
Is she present by Zoom?
She can hear you present.
Well, I mean, I see the name. If that counts as Zoom, then you have 4.
I mean,
Cynthia, can you unmute your mic, please? Can you say something, please?
But even without her, y'all have 3 out of 5, correct? So you have a 4. So, Mr. Mayor, you had a motion on the floor and you were looking for a second.
Correct.
And if you don't get a second, of course, your motion would.
No, we can't. You're muted. Okay, well, okay, see if you can unmute now.
So that means we go where?
Your motion dies for lack of a second, then you go back to your normal procedure, which is reading of your minutes.
No,
Okay.
If that, I don't know the normal procedure, I'm
okay,
asking.
I'm gonna put you on.
The normal procedure is to read it, so you can read it or
you
give
can
a
hear.
summarized version of it, whoever the designated person is.
Mhm.
There is not a normal procedure. Take my letter out of it.
Point of order
you usually give us a summary.
No.
of the minutes.
Yeah.
As I stated, depending on the. Yes, I'm sorry. This is,
You can hear me through the, through the Zoom?
no, everyone can hear you through a speakerphone on a cell phone. Okay. What I was saying is, depending on what took place in the minutes, sometimes a request was made for the clerk to read the minutes. And sometimes it's important information that are in the minutes that need to be brought to the public's attention, not just,
See, you're
wait,
saying
wait,
what
wait,
I
wait.
said. You couldn't hear me, but I said some things, it can be left up to discretion, but some things are going to have to be read.
And not just to advertise to the public of a certain section. You want to make sure that all of the public, so those who receive the minutes before by email or by coming to the office may not be the same one sitting in the public meeting. And they want to hear what's going on also.
So the motion died for lack of a second. So now, if the practice custom is to read the minutes, then y'all should read the minutes.
You just look up, you see, you said,
You,
I'm not even gonna say it.
okay,
You said it was
okay.
coming.
You are
The minutes that.
interrupting. Can you hear?
Yeah. You said it was coming.
Okay, so we're gonna keep going forward. And to make sure that you know where we are in the agenda.
And
Do you want to give Cynthia an update on the agenda? About the agenda altogether. She said that she was talking.
Okay.
So she's Cynthia.
Yeah.
You you're on speakerphone, so Roteshia is talking to you. Can you hear her?
Yes.
We're at the minutes for the agenda, the first, minutes on the agenda for January 9th.
But she asked about the attorney.
Hold on.
Re-
What about it?
Repeat your question, Cynthia.
I didn't, I'm so lost. I
You-
didn't hear her.
On the agenda, the executive session was removed. Did you hear that part?
Yeah,
Okay, and then the minutes of the 13th are incomplete and that was removed also. Did you hear that?
no, I did not hear that.
Okay, so now the council is ready to proceed with starting the minutes, okay?
We're starting with the attorney.
Ms. Collins, would you please just read the minutes?
You don't want me to assist
No, I
Councilwoman Massingill?
I don't. We're wasting everybody's time.
So
Please,
this
no,
is
please,
all out of order.
please.
How do I not listen to a council member?
Who's had a procedure and had medications?
You, first of all, the point of order, you're allowing disorder.
Please just read the minutes.
You know what, are there any cops up there?
Yes, there are. There are several deputies in the room.
I think I'm gonna get in my car and come up there. That you suggest.
That's up to you. I'm trying to get through the rest of the agenda.
Yeah, and I swear I can't take no more, though. I can't take no more.
Okay, well, you are on the phone and on Zoom, so you can hang up and,
I'll be there in like 3 minutes.
okay. Do you want council to wait for you?
Yeah,
Okay,
if they can.
okay, so how do you take a break?
The chairperson.
I'm so sorry. Please stop and just read the minutes so that we can get on.
Councilwoman Massingill, do you hear him, the mayor?
Yeah, he don't want you coming down.
Okay,
I
Well,
heard that.
just so we can have some order and follow. The last issue that was done was the mayor's motion died for lack of a motion. Mayor's motion died for lack of a second. And the issue was to discontinue reading the minutes. That it died for lack of a second. And since it died for lack of a second, that means that the normal practice, which was reading the minutes, we have to direct that the minutes be read if that's what we're going to do. Because we're saying we don't want to stop it. We're saying we want to continue with the minutes, reading the minutes. So at this point, we have to read the minutes. So this the mayor, council member, whoever is gonna do it. I have a start read just.
Yeah, she, no, she's like, oh.
Okay, so you're not gonna direct it clearly. Or
Our clerk will not read the minutes.
You're not really.
Yes, I just hung up with Councilwoman Massingill. So what is, I didn't hear what you said. I can't hear because of all the disruption.
We've asked you to read the minutes,
Okay.
please.
Mr. Mayor, if you would, why don't you ask law enforcement to keep the noise down?
You know,
And that way, there's no issue about nobody not hearing.
I think they'll be quiet, listening to the minutes.
Yes. For the town of Mayesville, January 9th, 2024 minutes, the monthly council meeting scheduled for that day was canceled due to inclement weather. A notice was posted at the front door and press were notified. Council sent notifications via telephone and social media. And the meeting was rescheduled as a special called meeting for January 23rd, then canceled due to Mayor Chris Brown willfully on his own changing and submitting to the press and public an improper and unauthorized agenda not seen by the clerk treasurer nor the council. No official town meetings were held for the month of January 2024. That concludes the notes/minutes for January. Next is the special called meeting minutes for February 8th. Held here at the Bethune Learning Center, February 8th at 1:30 p.m. In the absence of Mayor Chris Brown and no appointment of Mayor ProTem, Councilwoman Massingill being the senior council member, announced that she will act as interim Mayor ProTem to conduct the meeting. The meeting was out of order several times. Councilwoman Massingill entertained a motion to amend the agenda by changing Mayor ProTem interim to Mayor ProTem. Motion was seconded by Councilman Ricks. Councilwoman Benjamin entertained a motion to have Cynthia Massingill act as interim Mayor ProTem to conduct the meeting. Motion was seconded by Councilman Ricks. More out of order took place. Massingill, Councilwoman Massingill motions to move into executive session. Executive session was held and no votes were made, no motions, no actions taken. That concludes the February 8th minutes. Next is the February 23rd. And that also was a special called meeting. Started at 1 p.m. Mayor Brown sent an email stating that he alone canceled this meeting, removed agendas, and notified the press of his disapproval of the agenda/meeting and the interviewing of Attorney Carter. Confusion was a result, and Councilwoman Benjamin did not show. That is the end of the notes. Minutes for February 23rd. And that leaves with the special called minutes of March 1st. That began here at the Bethune Learning Center at 1 p.m. Mayor entertained a motion to approve the agenda, none opposed. Mayor entertained a motion to table ordinance review for council meetings and public participation, town attorney selection process, USDA multipurpose community facility grant until next meeting. Motion was so moved by Councilwoman Massingill and seconded by Councilwoman Benjamin, none opposed. The reason for town attorney and candidate review was out of order. Annette Brown began shouting as Mayor Brown talked over the clerk treasurer, asking her to stop reading the document. Reason for a town attorney and candidate review that was requested by Mayor ProTem Benjamin. See the attached document. Attorney candidate Q&A for council. The questions were asked. And of course, out of order as usual, the attorney candidate Q&A for the public. When scheduled for 5 minutes, actually went 10 minutes. There was a lot of out of order there. Questions were asked to Attorney Carter and Attorney Dubose. Mayor Brown motioned to schedule an executive session at the next council meeting to discuss the two town attorneys again. No second. Councilwoman Massingill reminded the mayor that the agenda was agreed upon to vote for town attorney. Councilman Ricks stated that the council has heard from the two candidates and a vote can be made. Mayor motioned to adjourn the meeting. Councilwoman Massingill reminded the mayor that the council was to vote before adjourning the meeting. Councilwoman Massingill made a motion to hire Attorney Eliezer Carter from the Carter Law Firm to be the town attorney. More out of order took place. Mayor ProTem Benjamin seconds the motion. Councilman Ricks' vote was yes. Mayor Brown's vote was no. Mayor Brown stated a discussion was to be held and asked each council member individually if they have any words. All replied no. Mayor Brown stated that more discussion is needed before voting on a town attorney. Point of reference. Clerk Treasurer reminded Mayor Brown that he refused to question Attorney Carter in previous meetings. Also, in the February 13th council meeting, the council voted no for Attorney Dubose. More out of order took place. Public participants interrupt the council with questions and discussions. Mayor Brown answers their questions. Mayor Brown asks each council member to state their vote again. Motion was called to adjourn the meeting at 2:05 p.m. and that concludes the minutes for March 1st. And that is all the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes. Favor? Financial report for January 2024 and February 2024. Discussion with the council. Do you want these?
Oh, Mr. Mayor, before you go any further.
Yep.
You might want your minutes to reflect the presence of additional council member in person, council person in person. Ms. Massingill just.
That would be great. If that could reflect that Sister Massingill came in, appreciate that.
Yeah, all you're doing is asking the record to reflect it. Now continues.
Could the record reflect that Councilwoman Massingill came in?
That's all now you can continue.
What's that?
Now you continue.
Do I need a yes?
No. All you're doing is putting it on the record,
Okay,
the
thank
presence
you.
of additional person.
Appreciate it. Council, would you like the financial report, the financial expenses read to everybody? Hello? Expenses are? Okay, but what I'm saying is, even if she gives us the totals of what's spent, what does that do in relationship to our budget? It just tells us what we spent. Doesn't tell us where we are as far as the budget goes for the year. Are we overspending? Are we underspending? Do we have more money? So the expenses tell us just one half of where we are. Would you like those read? Say that again?
I don't think so.
Okay. So I make a motion that we don't read the financial report for January and February. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. So on the agenda now, am I at the fair housing?
Okay.
Yes.
If I might, please, I'm not trying to take over your meeting.
You're not taking over.
When you go to an item on your agenda it might be easier to move along if you ask, like, when you got the financial, okay, the next on the agenda is financial report. Everybody read it, anybody got any questions about it? Do we need to discuss anything on it? By doing that, you've given everybody a chance to address it, and it doesn't look like we're running over it. So, I mean, we've already moved on from it, but you can certainly ask, has anybody got any questions before we move on from financial report? It moves a lot easier and everybody has had an opportunity to address it or to disagree. And if you have something that you want the council to review, such as, well, the next meeting, I think we need to start doing whatever the thing is you were talking about, showing what money's in and what monies are out. But you're discussing it to determine how you're going to go forward with doing that. And that would include if somebody's going to be doing it, you know, who's doing it, the time to do it, that kind of stuff. So and I think that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to raise an issue about it.
Absolutely, and I would love to open that up to discussion with the council right now. Would you like to see not only the expenses, but also a balance against the budget, so that you can see where we are throughout the year?
And what are their opinions on how you're gonna get that done for each meeting? Because I understand you're both, you're a part-time. Yeah, so that would be part of your discussion. If you want to do this, how we go about doing it.
So we do have a treasurer that would be able to do that. If we're getting the expenses, then it should be fairly easy with the program to be able to also get the balance.
Okay, well, I don't know.
I know.
I don't know if it's easy or not.
So- Discussion with the council? Okay, thank you. Good, okay. So I move for March. As we have a financial report that we not only have expenses, but we also have the budget and where we are throughout the year. And while we're right now getting ready for the budget, I have prepared a lot of it. I'm still sitting down with some of the people that bring income into the town. I will send each of you a budget so that you guys can look at it. You can go over it. You can see what your ideas are for this coming year. And I'll do that within the next week or so that we can start preparing.
Might I interject one more thing?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you went to the financial report and you said that you ask everybody if they have any questions about it, and then you ask for a discussion on how to bring the report to council meeting, whether for the public or whether for council to have a better understanding on it. And did you get a vote? Did y'all vote on? I heard everybody was quietly saying, so we took a vote on that we're going to do that. We're going to bring the financial report, not the budget, the financial report to council and show what's going in, what's going out.
Do you want me to formally do that? Every single one of them comment.
Right, but you already voted on it unless you take the vote back. But you've already voted to do it, and I guess the thing you all need to do is have a discussion on how we're gonna go about doing that. Is that something that's automatically in the treasurer's duties, or is that something that you all are going to set up? So I don't know that, I don't know how the council is set up with that, so that's why I can't offer an opinion about it right now.
And the point of reference earlier was that council had already voted last month that the mayor and the treasurer would do that together. It was the mayor's idea. He wanted it, and it was something that I said we would do together, and council voted.
But then that part is resolved, right?
There was no vote on that, but that's all right.
I'm just asking.
Well, those minutes have not been ratified, and I said that they are in the process of being worked on. So all I said was point of reference. It just needs to be taken into consideration.
Well, it would be nice to be able to look back at those minutes and see that we took a vote on that, because I'm sure that we didn't. But that's all right. We can we move on from that?
You
We can table it.
most certainly can table the issue, but
Yeah.
when you come to your next month meeting, the question becomes, why don't we have it?
Why don't we have the budget on the table?
Yeah, why don't we have this thing that we're saying we're going to do? So that's why I was saying you guys need to resolve how to do it now. You vote that you want it. Now you need to resolve how you're going to do it. I heard the treasurer say that council had decided you guys were supposed to meet. I don't know if that's accurate completely or not, but if that's what it is, then that's an issue to bring up. How do you do it? Do the mayor meet with the treasurer, or you'll hire somebody else to do it, whatever the case may be?
I will assist with that. I
Okay.
will take that and assist so that we have that, the budget and the expenses. I'll
That
take
resolves that, and you move along.
Okay. Fair housing resolution, Sandy Lynch will assist us with that and be posting some things on fair housing.
Okay. I'm still here and I know a lot of information, that fair housing information. There was an email that went out. It's a fair housing resolution for Sandy Lynch's. And the town of Mayesville needs to have one. They don't have one on file. So when dealing with the CDBG grant, there are certain tasks that need to be done for the fair housing plan schedule. And that's missing off of it. So that's why it's on the agenda, because the CDBG grant is getting ready to close. So the next step would be the paper trail. There will be, Sandy Lynch's will come here and take a look at the records and make sure that the town is adhering to the grant process and the letter of condition.
Okay, and so you're saying there needs to be a vote on that?
April is Fair Housing Month, and the Fair Housing Resolution basically states that the town of Mayesville desires to encourage equal opportunity housing for all its citizens. Whereas to ensure fair housing opportunities for all its citizens, the town of Mayesville has passed the Fair Housing Ordinance. And the town of Mayesville further wishes to bring the attention of its citizens to its concerns, and all citizens are informed and aware of their rights under the state of South Carolina Fair Housing Law of 1989. And whereas the Fair Housing Act ensures that every person, regardless of race, color, religion, national origin, sex, disability, or family status, can obtain housing. The act also promotes the establishment of safe and secure communities where everyone, regardless of nationality, can live free from discrimination. And whereas the town of Mayesville wishes to encourage realtors, churches, and other civic organizations to be aware and sensitive to needs of all citizens in the town of Mayesville in regard to their rights and housing opportunities. So that is the ordinance. So it would be dated for today and approved by the town council.
Right,
Yes.
so Mr. Mayor, you would need to call for a vote on it, make a motion yourself, or call for a vote on it. If I ask somebody to make a motion to do it. And of course, we need to do this for fair housing.
Absolutely. So is there a motion?
Make it fair. I didn't want to cut her off.
No, I was just, you were saying.
I make a motion that we sign the Fair Act proclamation resolution for the town of Mayesville.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The ayes have it. So we will sign the fair housing resolution, finish up the project that is taking place, the demolition.
Have you been able to do the final check?
Yep.
Good.
I have.
Great.
There is going to be a training for council coming up the 16th. I just need to check if everybody is available for that. Councilwoman Massingill, you're good?
I did reply to Charlie, so yes, I'm good.
Yes, you're good. You're good. So there will be a public notice So that we can meet. If you want to come, you can. You will not be really invited to speak in that. It's more of a training from the municipal association for us as a council to work through, obviously, some of the things that we're working on here. So that will be the 16th. I think it's from 10 to 12. Yes. So next Saturday. What's that? Have you scheduled? Have you scheduled here? Have you
You were
scheduled here?
scheduled for when?
Saturday.
The 16th.
Yes.
It's Saturday.
Yeah. Are we here?
You talked to, did you talk to him?
I've talked to him a lot, yes, but I didn't know the schedule as far as a place to meet.
Yes. So it's available.
Effective communication, last time I brought up, there were 4 grants. One of the grants was give an opportunity for the CDC to fund. Have they had an opportunity to fund that? This is mayor's observation. Have they had an opportunity to fund that?
Repeat the question, please?
Yeah, for the grant for the kitchen equipment, have they had an opportunity to fund that?
At the moment, I cannot remember where I left off with that.
All we're waiting for is a check so that we could finish that grant up. They were gonna provide a check for $1,700 for kitchen equipment.
Right, I remember that part, but there's a process. I have not officially communicated that to them. I already know that the answer is yes, but I have not done anything else further with that.
Okay, so they have funded it. They've deposited it into our account.
No.
Okay. There are 3 other grants. The $550,000 community facility grant. I am going to leave sheets up here. Those that would love to be on those committees to discuss those as a community, the feasibility grant for $52,000 and then the $92,000 equipment matching fund grant. Any of those that you feel like you would love to be on as a committee, we would love to invite you, and then we'll set up time so that we can discuss those things, see the best place. I've contacted all of the council. I don't know which ones they would like to be on right now. They haven't said much right now. Budget is coming, old business, town CPA. Love to have some discussion. There was some discussion back and forth email.
What, are you still in observations?
What's that?
Are you still in mayor's observations?
I went from observation, then went to new business, effective communication. So that we can communicate on all the grants that we've got going right now, bringing citizens working together.
Actually, Councilman Ricks wanted that on there. That's not what that was about.
Perfect.
Might I make a suggestion, to sort of really move along? When you do a, mayor's observation, which you should have on every agenda, even if you don't have any observations, that, under your observations, you then have council, in case any council want to bring up an issue. And that it moves you along, because just as the treasurer just said that Councilman Riggs had something he wanted to do. If you do it that way, you touch every council member to address something. Everybody might not have nothing to say, but you give them that chance.
Okay.
And by doing that, that moves you along.
Perfect, thank you.
Before you go to new business.
So we. And new business, the effective communication was what? Councilman Riggs.
So it would have been good to have Councilman Ritz on there so that, you know, okay,
Good afternoon.
Matthew,
All right, so for effectively for communication, pretty much Mayor Brown, you touched on it like, talking about with the citizens working together with the council and the council getting on one accord. So the big training, the training that we got coming up on Saturday, I think that will be effective, to kind of help us get some things in order so we can work together as a team. So the council can support the citizen can support the council. It'll be a two-way street, everybody on the same page.
Right.
So that's the big picture that, we want to build so the town can move forward, because right now it's some tension. Everybody knows it's some tension, but we need to do away with that and everybody get on one accord and move forward. That's the biggest concern I got.
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Did you have anything to
And
add?
Mr. Mayor, tag team.
Did you have anything to add about
Councilman Ricks just indicated, you asked about people joining committees. Please remind the public that they're signing up, it's only they're showing of being having an interest of being on the committee. And of course, every committee, your council will have to appoint everybody. If everybody sign up and council appoint everybody, then everybody's on the committee. But for each thing where you're asking for people to join a committee, their signatures only indicate, I'm willing to do it. And then council will have to say, I agree to appoint Miss Susan Jefferson, or whoever, okay?
Perfect. That will be good. Work session, council to schedule a date to work on the 2024 budget. I think we can work on that date as soon as I send you a preliminary budget. Is there any discussion that you guys have on that? Would you like to see a proposed budget first? Yes. Okay. For this next year. Councilwoman Massingill,
I've seen,
you've seen a new one already?
no, not the new one, or you said that have I seen one?
No, I was just asking, would you like a new one first?
Sure,
Oh,
yes.
okay. And then we can schedule a work session. We can work through some of the ideas that you may have. Old business, town CPA.
I've got a question. So you guys are not gonna schedule a work date?
Probably not until I get this first preliminary budget to them, and then they can bring up some questions, ideas, and then we can schedule the work session.
So what does that do as far as changing the agenda?
What do you mean changing?
Because it was specifically on here for a vote to schedule a date, even if it's like a month out. Actually, it's not, it doesn't even have time to be a month out because it's due at the end of March.
I propose then we do a work session before our next scheduled town meeting. So that we can work through those things, possibly start at 5:30. Unless you feel like we need more than an hour to go through it. If everybody came prepared with ideas and different things for that budget, I think we'd be able to work through it in an hour.
What day?
The second Tuesday, April.
Councilman Ricks and Mayor ProTem, does that suit your work schedule?
Listen,
I mean, I'm.
5:30, right? That's what you said?
I'm just discussion.
Right,
If
right.
he has something, yeah, okay.
Tuesday.
Town CPA. I just need some discussion. I've sent out an email to council. Is there any suggestions of a town CPA to finish up the years that have not been done presently.
This is, well, this is on here, actually. I sent an email out regarding a CPA. I don't know if you're referring to an auditor for the remaining years.
CPA auditor,
Okay.
yes, for the remaining years.
Okay, this is specifically referring to a CPA regarding what you were talking about earlier with the financial reports or handling the QuickBooks per se.
No, this is the audit for the final years. that we
Okay.
Need to have audited.
I understand. This that's on the agenda is town CPA because there are tax issues that need to be handled. You and I spoke about the state taxes and we spoke about QuickBooks and we spoke about the profit and loss sheets and how those things needed to be obtained for the town. So a CPA really would be good because as we know, it's a part-time position and council voted it off of the agenda, but the part-time position for clerk treasurer, that whole position and pay needed to be discussed because of the workload that is currently taking place. So for accuracy, professionals for auditing and CPA it's best. So that's why I sent the email out because you are the only one that had a problem with the Mr. Friday, the auditor. So that's why council said for a selection of people, for you to go and get a selection of people to come back so the town could have choices of a CPA / auditor or a CPA and an auditor, because not all of them do the same thing.
So what are you saying?
The tax preparer is needed, so council can talk about that.
And that's exactly what the discussion is about.
Not the auditor, but I'm talking specifically taxes.
Might I add in, the auditor will not be your town CPA.
Correct.
Your town certified public accountant cannot be your auditor. So those are two different things. Right? So do we have an auditor who audits us every year?
Not right now, but that is not on the agenda. It's the CPA.
Right.
Correct.
I'm just saying,
Correct.
so if we don't have an auditor, that means we eventually will need one because we gotta do that every year. The question now, I think you guys are asking is about whether you're hiring a CPA.
Yes, communication has been sent in the past and it was not resolved, so it is on the agenda. The council asked Mayor Brown to locate CPA and he said, I'll leave that to them.
Left it to the council. Nobody has
So-
responded. So do you guys have suggestions?
So when she suggested, Mr. Friday, what was your answer?
What was my answer? If you guys would like to hire Mr. Friday, you may do so.
That's auditor.
That's the auditor.
She's asking about an auditor.
She asked about.
Right, but you know, we're talking about
I
CPA.
do know that.
So help her. I mean, we all helping each other here. But you want clarity. You definitely have to have clarity.
My opinion, we do not need a CPA for the town.
Well, why didn't
We
you say
do.
that?
So
We do need an auditor to take care of the last few years. I don't know that we're required as a town of Mayesville after we finish this last one. There could be some clarification on that. I don't know that we need an auditor after that.
Well, you need an auditor for each year
yeah,
because you're a governmental agency, so you have to have an audit.
Every single year. Well, from what I understand, that they've moved that we don't have to be audited every single year as a town.
Okay, no.
Okay, that's all right.
About being audited, the IRS audits you. You have to have an, you have to have an annual auditor, now what word am I looking for now? not the CPA, but an auditor. You have to have an auditor to audit your books every single year. Okay, I mean, that's a requirement because you're a government agency. You gotta show everything that come in and everything that go out in a book form.
So,
But in terms,
Let me ask for just a second. Hasn't it changed? Did we talk about this, that there didn't need to be an audit after 2024?
the important word you said was after, so the 3 years that are
Right.
remaining
Correct,
need to be completed.
correct.
They have, the topic of an auditor and CPA have been on the agenda
I know, I'm
repeatedly.
just
So
asking,
it just needs to be located, but they will not let you get away without doing those last 3 years. They're still late.
no, I get that. But what I'm saying is, haven't we received information that says that towns do not need to be audited after 2024?
No, the clerk has not received
Okay,
information in
that's good.
writing, only hearsay,
Okay,
but nothing in writing.
so we're looking for an auditor.
that can be easily resolved. You can call the municipal association.
Right. I agree.
You'll need,
As-
About the CPA.
As far as the town CPA, in discussing this, I don't believe we need a town CPA. I think we can do it. I think we can do it on our own. I think there are people that will be able to balance our town budget, especially as we work on the expenses in the budget altogether.
I don't understand. You said you don't
I'm
think,
talking to council right now.
right,
So they can ask questions.
You saying you don't think.
I can
we
ask
need
questions
one,
too.
You saying the people in the town can do it,
thank you.
right?
I think we've got 4 people that probably have to balance their own budgets also. I think we can, with the treasurer and clerk, be able to take care of our finances.
It is.
I'm
it-
talking to council right now. Council discussion, what do you feel that you would like to do? Okay, then we're gonna have to put that in the budget for 24. So there may be people that we have to let go to be able to do that kind of thing.
Mhm.
It's all right. So we'll look at that budget if you want to put it in. So Councilman Rick says, let's hire one. And we'll put that into the budget. Councilwoman Massingill, what do you feel?
I'll go along with the majority, sir.
I got a question. So the tax preparer, the town CPA that's needed, it was never in the budget?
There's nothing in the budget for a CPA.
No, just the auditor. So this,
So the auditor was doing the CPA too? I mean,
He can't.
the
He-
tax preparer. who was
okay,
preparing-
so preparing taxes, there are several different areas. You could have HR taxes, right? But I have been telling the mayor, it's state taxes that the town of Mayesville is behind on. And there are certain things that the clerk treasurer cannot do without the mayor. And if he doesn't see the importance of doing it, then my hands are tied.
I don't understand what you're saying, but it's all right. We can talk about that later.
This is what the council meeting is for. This is up for discussion now. The communication between the clerk treasurer and the mayor has not been positive.
Ma'am,
It's
I can't even come in the building.
and respond to an email either.
No, I can respond to the email.
Okay, that's good. You just don't.
No. I do. I think what would probably be best if I include the whole community in our emails with council and everybody so that they can see.
If
Stop, ma'am, stop. So I just want to know, do we want to look at putting in the budget for a town CPA? Councilman Ricks has already said yes.
Yes.
You would like to also to look at the budget, okay?
Might I also make a suggestion?
Sure.
Because you're talking about our CPA, and you know that you gotta have funds in your budget for. You can also have as an alternative to a CPA, a bookkeeper, which will be a lot cheaper than a CPA. You get the same thing done. It's just the CPA has a license. But there's no requirement for your balancing of budget and doing.
You are out
of order. And first of all, you can't talking like.
So the discussion was, I felt like we could do it as a council to be able to do it, but we'll look at the budget. I agree with you.
You can either do the CPA or.
Bookkeeper.
The word bookkeeper. That's
Absolutely.
somebody who can do the same thing.
Yep, treasurer, same thing.
I mean,
So
anybody who can do it.
Exactly. Okay,
The CPA will cost them.
do we need to make a motion for that?
So
Or
who
is
is-
this just a
who-
discussion?
who's gonna take care of the back taxes?
I'm sorry.
The back taxes?
That would be the auditor.
No, it will be.
Bookkeeper or CPA. The auditor does nothing but come along and take all the records on the end of the year.
So I'm very confused about the back taxes. Just a very short answer.
The state taxes are behind for the
Why?
town of Mayesville. They have not been paid. They have been behind since before I got here.
Wait, stop. They've been behind for a year and a half.
Longer, that's what I've told you. I've been telling
Okay,
you.
so why in this administration, why wasn't it taken care of before?
It preceded me.
Okay, so council,
I mean,
no, there's council here that have been here that long. So stop for a second, coach us a little bit, council.
If I wanted to, I would, and really, I don't have that energy today.
Okay.
So can you go to someone else?
Were you there? You didn't, okay, before your time. Can you help? Okay, so obviously I didn't know that, so we can.
you
look at
did.
that.
You and I spoke about it.
I
and it's-
don't remember,
it-
I'm sorry,
okay.
miss, I don't remember.
Okay, well, that
Okay.
was one of a list of very important things that when you and I first talked, that was like really important. PIBA was one, those taxes was another, the auditor was one, and the budget was one.
Could have been an old thing taken care of by former
No,
administration.
no,
By
it was,
former administration.
please let me finish. I'm the one that discovered it. The previous administration didn't even know it.
How could they not know that they're not paying their taxes?
I cannot answer that question for
Okay,
you.
so.
I am solving a problem
Okay,
and needed your assistance since November, and now we are able to get to a resolution.
okay, perfect. We will get to that and look at the back taxes. Thank you for bringing that up. Appreciate it. Community, is there anything that you would like to, yes, ma'am?
No,
I don't know.
The Santee Lynch's public,
What's that?
Santee Lynch's.
I don't know who put that on. I don't have
The-
any, is there any of the council that has put that on?
Did you get a follow-up from them about the meeting we had at the center?
Absolutely.
That's why it's on the agenda.
There's no follow-up for that. They are getting the assessment done.
Right, but you were there was participation. For those that weren't, and a follow-up is what you tell the
What's
public.
happening?
What were some of the items that the community stated that they needed, that sort of thing?
Okay, all those people, we had a meeting with Santee Lynch at the senior center. They explained everything that they could possibly do with this. They have piles of money. And what they want from us is just research so that they can see which piles we could possibly go into. So all they're doing is just research right now, compiling everything that the public has put in to be able to assign it to different things. One specific one that they came up with right now is the old school. they found that there is money available, that possibly the old school could be remodeled. And there's money out there, and so there just has to be discussion, but they're still compiling all of the information, and then they will give it back. I will post it so that everybody can see where we are, and then possibly what grants. Question?
No, not at all.
I was
Yeah,
at the
so-
meeting, I was just going to clarify for Mrs. Collins if she wanted.
No.
Okay.
Okay, we'll wait for the 2 minutes. Committee
So
reports.
I had a question. I have a
You can
question.
ask a question, but she can't. You're public.
Yes, I'm the clerk treasurer. I
You're
can
part of
ask a
public
question.
also.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Were there other topics that the citizens said that they needed?
Other topics.
Other things that citizens of Maysville need?
At the Santee Lunch meeting.
Yes, that's what you're talking about.
No,
So the only thing discussed in the Santee Lynch's public needs assessment was the remodeling of the old school?
no. They didn't discuss anything. All they did is take research and gave every single one of us a form to fill out.
Yes, I have been to public needs assessments before. I'm asking,
What would you
The-
like me to say?
I asked a question, what are some of the needs of the Maysville citizens?
We don't know yet. They are combining all that information.
They have to compile the information.
Ms. Massingill left with a form that we are all supposed to fill out so that they could.
Correction. I handed the young lady at the door my form. I did not take that with me.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, I was there.
Okay, last year,
All it was is a research.
okay,
There's nothing presented.
Survey.
It's just a survey, sorry. It was a survey that all of us filled out. We will not know anything until they return the survey.
okay. I just know that sometimes citizens ask questions and they make their requests known publicly. They did that last year, and as a clerk, I wrote those things down on top of Santee Lynch's questionnaire so that that could be near and dear to council as far as serving the community. Because I know the water tower was something that was mentioned and you didn't mention that. I was told by Santee Lynch's about the water tower, but it wasn't mentioned by you. Council doesn't know about it, so they need to know.
There's nothing to tell about right now.
You don't know anything about the water
No, I
tower?
do. They just mentioned it, but there's-
So council, you know more than the council, and this is the meeting, and this is Santee Lynch's. So I would think,
Ms.
you know,
Collins,
you don't want to give them an update?
there is no update. They've just said we may have some money for the water tower. They haven't even discussed with me.
What's wrong with the water tower?
I have no idea. That's what I'm telling you. I don't have the information. There's money out there to redo some of the water towers
Okay,
around South Carolina. I don't have any information on it. Why give information that I don't have any information on?
well, these are two things that Santee Lynch's has talked about, so this is
Okay.
good, this is good.
They haven't talked about with me.
But they told you about the water tower,
Absolutely.
okay.
Committee reports. Council Lady Cynthia Massingill, do you have anything?
We've not been assigned committees, sir.
Did you have a previous assignment?
I think we would need to change it because the names on here are different. I can continue with my personnel. I don't mind doing that. We need someone for lights. They're different areas. Do you know the areas?
I do. So
Okay, so
let's
can
do
you
that at
report?
our 16th meeting. Would that be good? To discuss those things and give assignments? Wherever your passions are, wherever your talents are.
A group of guys, it's like 4 or 5 of them. They wanted me to bring it to the meeting that they're willing to build a gym. Female,
Nice.
and they just wanted to know, with the town like something like that, or is something they're bringing with their own funds, not through the town?
Absolutely. Let's sit down, we'd love to bring business to Mayesville. Okay. See what we can do to help them. Councilman Ricks, anything? Okay, so we'll look at that on the 16th. Public participation. Please state your name. 2 minutes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I know. No, but question, I'm not.
What's your name for the record, ma'am?
Carolina. From the street in Mayesville. Councilman Massingill, where's your specialty? Where do you go on?
I didn't hear you, ma'am.
Light, water, sewer,
Personnel.
We're
Just
just.
Okay, Councilman Rich, you on communication, you say?
We haven't discussed that yet. We discussed that on the
You guys
16th.
don't have an assignment, that's what you're supposed to report on.
Right.
We just said that.
Agreed
We'll
to
talk
do
about
that
it
on the
March
next
16th.
meeting.
Excuse me?
We just agreed to do that. The mayor we just agreed to do that at the next meeting.
Okay, the next question, the last question, I think the attorney said that, if you were to put your name on the sheet up there, the council people have to decide whether they want you to work on that committee or not, is that right?
Yes.
That's exactly what I said.
Excuse me?
That's exactly what I said. In order to be on an official committee for the town government has to create the committee and appoint the people on the committee. And they can appoint somebody they know or somebody who write their name on the list, because you'll be acting in the official capacity for the town if you're on one of their committees.
So by being a citizen in the community, I don't have a voice,
Yes, ma'am, you have it on election day.
and I'm supposed to be, responsible for, don't you think?
Ma'am,
I said, if I were to put my name on that list, and you decide that you don't want me on the list, then I don't have a voice.
I hope they won't decide that, but that would be correct. As far as being on that committee, you can show up at every council meeting and voice your concern about anything you have an opinion on. But I'm just saying, to be on a formal committee, the government has to appoint you on it. The government is the mayor and council.
So let me ask you this, maybe a clarification from me. Do all these committees have to be a formal committee, or can they be a community of citizens that can get together that the mayor can appoint to be on something?
You absolutely can do that, but in order for it to be official, it have to come to council. And council can take an action or ignore that action.
Okay, perfect.
I'm not saying to do that or not to do it. I'm just saying that's the formal process.
Okay. Yes.
Kelly Carter, citizen of Mayesville, but
What is your name?
Kelly Carter.
Kelly Carter.
Carter.
You're not related to the attorney Carter, are you?
I am not. But anyway, so I just want to offer up some thoughts here. Again, I come with an accounting background. I'm actually a CPA of South Carolina. Living here in town, I hear a lot of conversation about financials, audits, CPA, hiring a CPA, taxes. Again, I would probably love to just offer my assistance to the council. However that is, whether it's budgeting, whether it's preparing reports with Ms. Collins, whatever that is. I'm here, I'm willing to serve the council and help the council, and I hope you take me up on that and
Thank you.
reach
Do
out.
you mind if I take your name and number, please?
Certainly, Kelly Carter.
Did you leave me your number? Was that in there? No?
Why don't you write that down and
I can give you my number before I leave tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Email, perfect, I'll send an email.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
No. Is there an operational
What is
budget
the name?
in effect for this fiscal?
Will you state your name for the
Louis
record?
Tisdale. Is there an operational budget that has been approved for this fiscal year by the previous mayor and council? Does this exist? Do we have a budget in effect?
Yes. From what I understand, I've been given a budget from the clerk for starting April 2023 to March 2024.
Okay, so that exists, has been approved properly by council.
I don't know, because I wasn't here, but these,
Would it be possible for the folks in the community to get a copy of that budget?
absolutely,
It's available as public information, but just asking nicely.
yes.
And I applaud Councilman Ricks for calling for cooperation.
Yes.
But in my council, that y'all just approved a set of minutes which attacked a person who is not an elected representative,
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
the mayor's family. It was approved in the minutes. Besides the fact that it could very possibly be considered libelous, these are the kind of things that drive a wedge between. I bet you can't say you want cooperation at one point and then approve minutes attacking someone's family. Ms. Massingill, when you say the family's off limits,
I only heard part of what you said.
I'm asking you to be considerate of people's family. You may have opened yourself up for some legal issues about attacking them formally in the minutes. You're going to address that and certainly advise you on it. But it is not conducive to people learning to get along with each other, respect each other, respect their families, especially. Thank you.
Very good. I'm Jesse Washington, and I have one question, and it has been nagging in my mind. The penny tax paid for a lot of the building and everything that we have here, right? Some other grants or funds, am I right?
Correct.
Even the building that we're in now.
Yes.
Now, all of this belongs to the CDC. Is there any way that it can be reverted back to the town so that the town can use whatever the town has? Right? Is there any way?
Great question.
Because we can't use it, CDC doesn't allow us to do it. So we need something for the town. Can it be reverted? Is there anyone here who have any knowledge of how we can go about doing that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. The lawyer.
But the answer to your question is no. No.
It can't be reverted back?
Federal funds went into the creation of the facility. And unless the federal government decides to do that, it doesn't revert back because it's federal funds.
I don't think you're understanding. That's all right. I'll inform you later.
You have my question.
Yeah, I do. You'll have to be briefed on that a little bit. Yes, sir.
John Bowman. I got a question for the attorney.
I don't answer questions from the public.
What?
I have attorney-client privilege with the town. I don't have questions.
This isn't got to do with her question. This building was sold for $10. According to law, if I'm not correct, and I'm not a lawyer, a municipal building cannot be sold for less than value of the property.
That's not completely accurate.
No, it. They fill me in on what's not accurate.
Come to my office, I'll go through a discussion with you.
We would all like to know the answer to that. Could you bring that to the next meeting?
I certainly can.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon. My name is Roger Mayesville. This is the first meeting I've been to with a little bit of respect. And y'all, please try to get along. That's the only way this town gonna have something. But when y'all pulling against each other, you'll never have nothing. Now, when Jardine been there, ain't none of this mess was going on that I know of. So let's just, come on, y'all. You should have been out of the, you under anesthesia, and I know what the doctor told you, don't drive. But you out here, why? This could have been over without you. So y'all, let's pull together as a family and get this town back on track. Okay, we didn't do that.
Damn on y'all. This is y'all town too. And y'all wanna see things grow in Mayesville. I live on Davis Street. I would like to see our road, because we have so much water cellar on the street. Cynthia know about it, right? So I wanna see changes come. I don't wanna see this at every meeting I come to, pulling against the mayor, the council pulling against the mayor. Rick, I'm proud of you tonight. Thank you. Thank you.
There's another hand back there, no? I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
Ms. Collins, if you don't mind, it's been a while since I've been to a meeting. Could you give me a brief synopsis maybe on your job description?
It's not brief at all.
If you don't mind, if I could just, while you're giving it, if I can reclaim a little bit of that time, but I won't take them, go ahead.
So as clerk, there's a set of duties. As treasurer, there is a set of duties. And then there's regular office tasks, running to get paper, food, water for the citizens, setting up chairs, cleaning in here. There are reports, financial reports that are done monthly or weekly or yearly. There's the tolerating of this. There's the staying positive. There are monthly reports that tie into insurance. There are reports that go to the state. Franchise fees are monitored, set off debt. All the franchise fees for the municipality are monitored. Deposits, banking, and to be honest, since Mayor Brown has been here, there have been a lot of administrative duties that have fallen on the clerk treasurer to keep the town of Mayesville going.
Okay, so my reason for making that point was, and I realize you were giving a summary, but in none of that, did you say that you should suggest that the council make a motion or take a vote on it? So in my opinion, in those instances, I believe it was twice tonight, you were out of order by doing that.
And that's not a problem. I appreciate that. But as clerk treasurer, as clerk, the clerk does have parliamentarian authority to keep the peace. Okay, so that's quite all right. And
You want me to just cut her off? Sorry, Ms. Collins, she's cutting you off. Yes, ma'am.
okay.
My name is Erin MacArthur. I'm a citizen of Mayesville. I have a few things that I have questions on. And if I'm not mistaken, the ordinance is saying the parliamentarian is the attorney. On the February financial report, there are 3 deposits that they split. Could you illuminate for us what that means?
Was she talking to me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'd be happy to answer that in email. Well, the financial reports, they didn't want to read it, so.
There was my understanding that they said to go ahead and read it, and we were, that was the decision of the council.
No, they said not to read it.
Okay, yes, I would be happy to give you my email address, but can we just put that on the town thread so that everyone can get that information?
All right.
What town thread?
Our town thread, we can start with it.
A town thread.
The one that.
Or we can
had
post it.
problems ever since.
Your thread?
Not mine.
I'm not saying there is one, I'm saying could we start one? Could-
Oh, the mayor has one. I thought she was talking about your thread that you had.
We're talking about emailing her the split, whatever is being talked about. Could you please email her that?
Sure, she can,
Thank you.
leave me her email address. You have a card.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? I move to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Hey, yeah, Mayesville? Yes. NC or whatever, Gmail? Excellent. So, again, either email or call, I put in my cell phone in there.
That's what I was wondering. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. if
I
it
just
was-
included it in this email to you, I you and all the council. Okay. So again, whatever that looks like, how I write this, just let me know.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you all, appreciate it. I know.
Day and night right now. Yeah. I get off bed. Yeah. I get off bed, 1:30. 1:30, 2:30. No, like, oh, tomorrow. No, like, I was at home.
I agree with what you said.
Yeah.
The whole thing is something.
Yeah. So when you. I don't be there. They ain't tell me, say, well, you just, oh, I don't even do that, right? You gotta go to work. Yeah, I'm going to work now. I gotta go to work.
Oh.
What time you gotta be there?
The minutes. Nobody make it, but then I couldn't think they refused to.
You gotta put it in silver.
Yeah,
I'm doing it myself.